he has the puck and he's skating. Really good player, but it's also what he's doing when he's not skating.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of a subtle. He needs to also be more, much more aware defensively of what he's doing if he wants to be playing in a top 6 role as well.
Well, you don't want him playing in a bottom 6 role if he's not playing well defensively, and that's why I think it almost makes more sense for Domi to play up in the top 6 and be on a line with Matthews and Nyes, or with Tavares and Nylander, whoever ends up being. But if he deploys the team how I'm expecting him to, I think the third and fourth line will garner most of the defensive responsibilities, most of the defensive zone starts. It's just how it's going to go. I'm not sure you want Max Domi on one of those lines, and if that's the case, all right, well, he's making almost $4 million. Like he's gonna be in this lineup, and it sounds like a top 6 role is really the spot that makes the only sense. So maybe putting him with someone like Matthews and Nyes, who you're going to want to have as many offensive zone starts with them as possible anyway. That's where you put Domi. Or maybe it's a guy like, again, if you're doing more pairs and you're doing more situational, which we've seen at times, in the modern NHL, things aren't as locked and set in stone situationally, defensive zone faceoff. Maybe that's when they put Dakota Joshua out there on a line with those two, and he gets an opportunity defensively, so that if they do lose the draw, it's not an absolute albatross, and he can at least defend out there. So maybe that's something too that they're thinking of, as opposed to just one guy. Could be situationally, depending on where they're starting the play, whether it's on the fly, offensive zone faceoff, neutral zone faceoff, defensive zone faceoff. Might be a different player depending on that. All right, let's come back and maybe take a stab at what these lines could potentially look like for Craig Berube here. And I also want to ask this question: is there more pressure on Austin Matthews to perform this year without Marner, or for Marner to perform this year without Matthews? I think that question bears a little bit of speaking on, and we'll do that next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's edition of Locked On Leafs podcast is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does all the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. For myself, I'm looking for a couple of financial goals to hit this year, and that's where Monarch comes in. It can really help me separate those goals and make sure I'm not missing my target. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKDOWNNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL.
The Locked On Leafs podcast continues. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morrissey with you, as we are each and every day, Monday through Friday, with new episodes coming out every day of the week. You can find them free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and also find us on YouTube as well. Subscribe and get that daily dose of Maple Leafs content directly to you. If you had to guess, right, you're writing out the lineup on a napkin right now. What do you think it looks like heading into camp? Day one of camp, line rushes come out. What do you think the tweets are going to look like from the regular crew of reporters who are down there?
I mean, I'm going to just based off what I saw today with Berube's comments, I'm going to go with Matthews, Nyes, and Domi to start off on the top line. Michelli with Tavares and Nylander. I think it's almost a lock that Dakota Joshua and Nicola Waugh are going to be on the third line. Right now, I'm going to have Kelly Yarncroc as the third man on that line.
Okay.
Just for the defensive situations. And then I think it's going to be Scott Lund, Steven Lorentz, and then let's throw Nicky Bobby on that fourth line, which, I mean, it's not the ideal fourth line, but that's kind of how I kind of see things right now.
Something tells me you forgot a man.
Who did I forget?
Feel like you forgot someone. Because I basically, so I have 11 of the 12 players on my lineup. I have Yarncroc on the fourth line with Lawton, Lorentz, and Yarncroc, just like we saw in the postseason, and it was a very formidable fourth line, basically a third line for this team. I do not have Nicky Bobby making my opening night roster if everything stays as is. I got Joshua, Nicola Waugh, and Bobby McMahon.
Oh, shoot, Bobby McMahon.
I knew you forgot. I'm like, I think you forgot about somebody, because Bobby McMahon is the guy I have. So, yeah, the top six, I think we're both aligned there. Nyes, Matthews, and Domi. Michelli, Tavares, and Nylander. That makes up your second line. And then Joshua Waugh, McMahon on the third line, and Lawton, Lorentz, and that boy Cali Doe, as Marshawn Lynch would say, Yarncroc as the fourth line winger there. So
sorry, Bobby. Jeez, I don't even know how I forgot about Bobby for a second there. Wow.
I don't know how you did either. And that puts Nicky Bobby as a 13th forward, and then so no Easton Cowan.
Zeta as the fifth. That's like the sixth forward.
So like Easton Cowan, not a guy for you. Like, are you like, if here's what I find very interesting, right? And I almost feel like today's comments almost makes it nearly impossible for Easton Cowan to make the team out of camp. One, last year, he had what Craig Berube said about Easton Cowan was he needs to take care of the puck a little more, right? His puck control, and when he has it, that is something he has to work on in junior, which he did, to his credit. I thought this year, the few games that I watched of the London Knights, I did think that he had great puck possession and puck control. But if you're afraid to put Matias Michelli up on the top line because you think that it may be too pressure-packed right off the get-go, you're going to put Easton Cowan, a guy who's never played a single game in the NHL, up on the top line with Matthews and Nyes? Probably not. I don't think that's a spot he's going to go. And then all of a sudden now it's like, okay, so what? Now you're looking at only one spot in the top six, and it's going to be either Domi, Easton Cowan, or Nicky Bobby. And I don't see him beating out Domi for that spot.